Hey, Flippin' Landlord Ninja here.
Kevin the Property Prince.
And we are Two Guys Take on Real Estate. So we're here to talk about expanding your rental portfolio and what does that mean with working with the new tenants that you just acquired?
Well, that's a pretty awesome thing that you're able to expand, but it could mean a whole bunch of new work because you have a whole new group of tenants that you have to onboard and integrate into your portfolio.
If you could do me a favor, leave a comment below with how many units you want to buy in 2021.
Yeah, no number is too high, folks. Keep adding those zeros behind it.
So as always, we're here to pay it forward so you can learn from our stupid mistakes.
Yeah, boy, we make them over and over and over. And when I say me, I mean we.
Two guys take on real estate.
So you found a property, you're getting ready to close those closing docs. What are the next steps, Kev?
Boy, well, if it's occupied, and that's something that you should have probably known about before this point, you're going to want to make sure you have all the relevant information about the people living in your property. So that means if you're buying it from a management company or a landlord, you're going to want to make sure you have in your possession leases, rent rolls, transaction histories on your accounts.
Security deposit information?
Absolutely. And if you haven't gotten it already, if your area has them, lead certificates.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Sure. Good point. I mean, you want to make sure the home follows all the state and federal laws about lead paint requirements, especially for anything in our area, at least built before 1978.
Yes. So if you also already have a portfolio and you already have a property manager in place, generally what you're going to do is obviously hand a lot of that off to them. I would highly recommend you give them obviously a heads up. Don't at the closing day say, guess what? Here's another 4 or 20 units. And then they have to scramble and try to put it all together. They're going to want to actually take the time to start actually reaching out to those tenants ahead of time to let them know the proper ways of making sure they pay their rent. Who are they contacting for emergencies?
Absolutely.
All that kind of information so that the transition is as smooth as possible as opposed to kind of chaos, which we've done that, right?
Oh, we've done pretty much everything that doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's why we make these videos, so you can learn from our struggles. And planning is certainly the key to success. Now, keys. That's kind of an important thing to have too, right? You need to have keys to all of the apartments themselves. You need the ability to respond in the case of an emergency. You need to be able to make sure that those keys are also able to be accessed by the people that are going to be out there responding to these things. So that means if you have a maintenance supervisor, they'll need access to these keys as well.
Yep. So one thing you're going to want to do is actually change the key or the locks over when you transition for the safety, because often the other landlord might still have another rental portfolio or have a copy of a master key, and now you're responsible for your tenants and they have access to that apartment when they no longer are the owners.
Boy, this sounds like a lot of work. So if you're still thinking about moving forward, what else are you going to be dealing with when it comes to the actual occupants of the properties themselves? Well, what can you expect when you knock on your door to introduce yourself?
Well, you can expect them potentially to say, oh my God, the last one, he didn't fix anything and they have tons of problems in here.
My favorite.
And guess what? I'm not going to pay my rent until you get things done. Now, that's where you want to be mindful. That's not, an everyday issue. That happens for a fraction of the tenants, but when it does, it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, this is a great opportunity for some tenants to start maybe playing some games or maybe some frustration to start bubbling up that you weren't aware kind of existed before. So it could be that now you're just discovering that you got some unsatisfied customers in there that are now your customers, and you have to help them understand that you're there to be a good, responsible landlord and take care of the place accordingly.
Exactly.
Yeah, the other thing you're going to find is that, like you said, there may be some game playing that starts happening, and maybe they start kind of creating excuses. And I've heard, I always like to say, I think I've heard it all, and then another week goes by and I hear something new. But you might find situations where you have an occupant saying, listen, I don't know who you are, how can I believe you, show me proof, things like that. And they'll start playing some games, and that often ends up meaning that they're not paying their rent. They're basically going to say, I don't know. I don't know what I should do. I'm really confused. I've been hearing different things. I don't understand. And I'm just not going to pay anybody till I know what's going on.
Right.
And they'll be more than happy, in the case of these folks, to let that game go on for as many months as you allow it.
So that's why it's really important to kind of bring documentation right with you with all the needed stuff, showing that you're actually on the new deed, whatever it might be, as well as you documenting that you're actually providing this information to them, so that later on they know that that is not the case, that they've been provided with the right information,
100%.
and they know where to pay the rent. They know that you're the owner, and
they know how to report
BS,
and they know how to report maintenance issues. That's
Exactly.
the other big thing. The amount of people that'll tell us, like he said, my last landlord, he no fixed nothing, and now you're going to take these kind of things and remove them from the equation. You're going to give them all this information in writing, like an orientation. You're going to provide a verbal orientation. I like to do it in person wherever possible, but you always want to be able to provide it to them electronically and in writing too.
I'd also recommend basically doing a full property inspection of every unit. This way you can document what you see and your maintenance staff sees right from the beginning. And if you see any needed repairs, you make them in a timely fashion, just as if you were doing a yearly inspection for your regular properties. Start it right off the bat and kind of get it going on a really good foot.
Yeah, and you can start off getting some stuff in writing right off the bat with the actual tenants in the properties by, as part of your door-to-door orientation, getting them to sign off that they not only received all the materials that you provided them with, how to report maintenance issues, how to make rental payments, that they understand and are aware that you now are the one in charge of the property, whether you're the owner and manager or you have a property management company, whatever. As well as when they're signing off that they received this information, signing off that they don't have any open work orders that still need to be attended to, that they're not and haven't been waiting for their heat to be fixed for the last 6 months type of a thing. This way, if they start bringing up that, hey, I'd like to have somebody take a look at my cabinet door, it's really loose, you can let them know, great, we're happy to take care of that. As we just discussed here in this paper, this is how you report these kind of things.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of a great way to get the new tenants and a new property online. And if you have any questions more about this, please let us know. And
absolutely, we'll be happy to follow up to any of your comments. We always like to develop our channel to build out and create more videos based on the needs of the people that are out there interested in this stuff. Yeah, our people.
Our people?
I hope so.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks once again. Tune in again, and we'll be back making more and more videos on Two Guys Take on Real Estate.